Welcome to a journey where just a blink can change everything. In today's video, we're diving deep into real-life traffic moments where a tiny mistake or lapse in concentration can spiral into unexpected and often dangerous consequences. We all have those moments on the road where things could have gone terribly wrong with just the slightest difference in timing, focus, or decision-making. Let's reflect on these everyday situations, observe what happened, and learn from them. These lessons are reminders that being vigilant behind the wheel is not just important, it's essential. Whether you're running errands or heading out for a long drive, a few moments of caution could be the difference between life and death. The power of slowing down. First up, let's talk about the power of slowing down. It might seem like a small thing, but slowing down just a little bit, especially in high-traffic areas or near intersections, can make a world of difference. Speeding might seem like the best way to get where you're going faster, but that little bit of extra speed might just land you in a situation where you're stuck in the middle of the road because of an unexpected crash. In fact, slowing down could help prevent that crash altogether. Keep in mind that getting to your destination a few minutes later is far less costly than being caught in a crash. Don't rush through intersections. Here's another important reminder. Always look both ways before entering an intersection, even when the light is green. Too many drivers today are distracted or simply fail to follow traffic signals correctly, and that lapse in attention can lead to dangerous situations. We've all seen drivers rush through a green light without checking if it's safe. Even when you have the right of way, don't forget to look both ways. That extra second of caution can prevent a potential disaster. Pay attention to your vehicle's limits. Another common issue we see is when drivers forget to check their vehicle's height clearance before driving under bridges or overpasses. We've all seen the unfortunate crash scenes where the top of a truck or van hits the bridge, causing a massive disaster. It's easy to get complacent, but this is a perfect example of why it's so important to understand and respect the limits of your vehicle. Forgetting to check your truck's height clearance could end up turning your everyday commute into an expensive crash scene. It's a scary reminder that luck doesn't always work in your favor. If you're lucky once, don't assume you'll always be that fortunate. Distraction. A silent killer. Now let's talk about distraction. One of the biggest contributors to road accidents is driver distraction. In one case, a driver was distracted and didn't realize the severity of the situation. Fortunately, there were no serious injuries, and no one in the store was hurt, but the impact of the crash could have been much worse. In another situation, despite having good reflexes, an accident still almost happened because the driver was too distracted to react properly. These examples highlight how quickly distractions can escalate into life-altering events. The key takeaway here: never let your attention wander from the road. Mechanical failure and the importance of maintenance. Sometimes accidents aren't caused by driver error, but by mechanical failure. A mechanical failure on the road can result in a crash that seems unavoidable. Luckily, in the incident we're reviewing, no one in the store was injured, and it was a stroke of luck that the crash didn't turn into something far worse. It's amazing to think that everyone in the car avoided serious injuries. The situation serves as a reminder that staying on top of your vehicle's maintenance could save lives. Always check your vehicle regularly to avoid mechanical issues while driving. A little extra care can go a long way. Home doesn't always equal safe. It's important to remember that danger doesn't just exist on the road. Even when you're safely at home, things can quickly go wrong, as seen in another incident where a car came dangerously close to crashing into a building. Thankfully, no one was seriously hurt, and the driver only suffered minor injuries, but it could have ended much worse. This reinforces the idea that danger can strike anywhere, and we must remain alert and careful no matter where we are. Yielding is not optional. When you're driving, don't forget the basics of the law. One incident clearly showed how someone forgot. The golden rule. Yielding isn't just a courtesy, it's a legal requirement. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle of daily life, but ignoring that basic rule can put others in harm's way. In this case, the driver failed to yield and came dangerously close to causing an accident. If they had just taken one extra second to look back, the situation would have been avoided. Remember, yielding isn't optional. It's the law, and it could save a life. Know your car and drive responsibly. Ever been in a situation like this? If you've ever found yourself in a crazy moment on the road, drop a 1 in the comments. We've all had those jaw-dropping, oh my God moments, and today we're looking at some of the most shocking, hilarious, and, at times, downright dangerous traffic situations. Strap in because some of these will leave you speechless. A close call. Take a look at this. One driver was caught in a tight spot, literally. Thankfully, the river was dry, and a few kind passers-by helped him out of his predicament. Sometimes, a little help from strangers can go a long way. Still, it's a reminder to stay alert when driving in risky spots. The BMW drift fail. This one's a classic. A BMW driver decided to show off with a slick drift, hoping for applause, but instead, he ended up with a massive repair bill after sliding straight into a parked truck. Remember, cars aren't pets. They're machines. They don't just sit and wait. Ignoring your vehicle or treating it carelessly can quickly lead to disaster. Swinging the door open, big mistake. And then there's the driver who didn't bother checking before swinging their door open. We all know that feeling, right? But in this case, they learned the hard way why that rule exists. It's not just a guideline, it's there to prevent exactly what happened, a careless mistake that could have been avoided. The GPS can't help you moment. Now, let's talk about the driver who missed a turn. No big deal, right? Well, instead of just making a simple U-turn, this driver turned the situation into a puzzle even GPS couldn't solve. With so much parking space around, you'd think they'd nail it. But after several failed attempts, they just gave up and said, well, guess I'm walking. Sometimes it's better to just take a breath and approach the problem calmly. Unexpected airtime. This next one is a real eye-opener. The driver thought they could glide through smoothly, but instead, they ended up catching air in a way they didn't plan for. Always, and I mean always, check your vehicle's weight limits and make sure the road can handle your truck's load before attempting something risky. That's a lesson learned the hard way. The reckless driver, and then there's this guy. Ever seen someone drive like they're starring in an action movie? Sometimes that's just what it feels like when people react out of panic. In this case, the car lost control and hit a row of parked vehicles, causing a domino effect. Luckily, no one was hurt, but the cars took quite a hit. Moral of the story? Stay calm, yield when necessary, and don't let a stressful situation get the best of you. Free car wash, anyone? Thanks to a crash, the road got a free car wash, whether it needed it or not. The car was definitely in for some repairs, but hey, at least the street was cleaner. It's a reminder that accidents not only cause damage, but can sometimes lead to unexpected consequences, even for those not directly involved. The parking brake fiasco. Here's a real classic. Stuck on a hill, the driver decided to check things out, forgetting one very important thing, the parking brake. What happened next? You guessed it, the car rolled right back down the hill on its own. No driver needed for that one. It's a good reminder to always set your parking brake, especially when your car is on an incline. Pressure washer. Scare ever? Been scared to use a pressure washer because you might slip? Well, here's a headline moment for you. The driver tried to avoid it and found themselves in a bit of a mess. Sometimes trying to avoid one problem can cause a bigger one. It's all about staying calm and thinking ahead. Parking fail. And speaking of parking, we've got another one for you. A driver decided to park in a spot that clearly wasn't meant for parking, right in front of a gate pillar. Classic mistake. But hey, at least they didn't get into a real bind. Still, it's a reminder to always pay attention to parking signs and avoid risky spots. The moral of the story: